6 nations, 1 track. The baton doesn't care about your reputation. It only cares about what you do in the next 40 seconds. Ireland, Belgium, Finland, Sweden, Croatia, Switzerland. All of them training for years. All of them believing this is their heat to take. Watch Switzerland explode off the line in lane 2. Watch the exchanges. That split-second handoff where relay races are won or lost before you even realize it. This is the women's 4x100 m relay heat 1, and the drama is already unfolding. Who holds their nerve? Who drops the stick? And who? On the outside in lane 7, Ireland. Amusen, Daly, Colfer, and Akpe-Moses. Belgium in lane 6, Foesters, Sonneville, Girardin, and Petrochi Konings, fresh off the 200 m final. Finland in lane 5, and Thalmaisa, and the home crowd is already loud. Oksanen, Sakala, Aalto, and Vannanen. Sweden in lane 4, Filippa Engström on the leadoff leg, then Lundberg, Salkvist, and Olivia Pihl closing it out. Croatia in lane 3. Dunja Rubčić gets them started, passing to Barbaric, then Police, and Vida Penezic on the anchor for the Croatians. Switzerland in lane 2. Timea Rankel opens, Militanazzi, one of Europe's best this season, on the second leg, Karina Celia Stettler third, and Mara Schwitter brings them home. 6 squads, 1 shot at the final. In relay racing, it's never just about who's fastest. It's the handoffs, the timing, the trust you have to have in the woman coming toward you at full speed. 1 rough exchange and it's over before you know it. The blocks are set, the crowd is into it, and every one of these teams has put the work in on those baton passes. So who holds it together when the pressure is real? We're about to find out. They're off. Switzerland out fast, Rankel flying down the backstretch. She's got the early lead off the gun. Clean exchange for Switzerland. Baton right into Tanazzi's hand, and she is gone, down the back straight. Switzerland holding that lead with authority. But something's wrong in lane 7. Ireland is in trouble out there on the back straight. Stettler takes it for Switzerland, Belgium, and Sweden still in this. The Swiss remain out front into the anchor. Schwitter has it, and she is gone. Switzerland wins, 44.6, 3 for the Swiss. Switzerland wins Heat 1, 44.6. 3 sets, and they led wire to wire. Clean relay, dominant performance from this Swiss squad. Now look at Ireland's precious Akpe-Moses on that anchor leg. She came flying through in lane 7, and she may have done just enough to take second ahead of Sweden's Olivia Pihl. Ireland had that ugly moment on the back straight, but Akpe-Moses was on fire in that run-in. The Swiss, meanwhile, are going wild. Rankel, Tanazzi, Stettler, and Schwitter ran a clean relay from the very first exchange. Heartbreak for Finland. One of their athletes went down on the back straight, right in front of their home crowd. The Finns are out. Ireland watching that scoreboard. Akpe-Moses gave them every chance with that anchor leg. Ireland and Sweden separated by thousandths of a second. It goes to the photo. Akpe-Moses left everything on that track. Watch it again. Rankel out of the blocks in lane 2. First to full speed, no hesitation at all. The Swiss lead was built in those first 15 meters. Now the first exchange, look at the timing. Baton goes cleanly right into Tanazzi's hand, no hitch, and she shifts into another gear on that second leg entirely. She's the reason Switzerland had control from the backstretch. Into the third leg, Stettler takes it and stays composed around the bend. Belgium and Sweden are still in it, but that Swiss cushion is real. Then the final handoff to Schwitter, crisp, controlled, and she opens up down the home straight. On the outside, Akpe-Moses is closing fast, but Schwitter is already clear. Switzerland through to the relay final. They ran Heat 1 clean from gun to tape. Switzerland didn't win this relay at the finish line. They won it at the first exchange, and everything after that was execution. Timea Rankel came out of the blocks in lane 2 with the kind of early acceleration that establishes intent before the field has even found its stride. By the time the baton moved to Militanazzi, Switzerland had daylight. That's where relay races get decided, not in the final 20 meters of the anchor leg, but in those first exchanges when one team's timing clicks and another team is still catching up to itself. Tanadzi held that lead through the back straight and extended it. From that moment, Switzerland was running against the clock more than the field, and that's exactly the position you want to be in. The final time of 44.63 is a strong heat performance. Not a time that rewrites history, but one that says this squad came here ready. Wire to wire, no wobbles, all 4 exchanges handled cleanly. In relay racing, clean is underrated. You watch enough of these heats, and you see how quickly a capable squad can unravel. One rough handoff, one runner who hesitates at the incoming baton, one exchange zone violation that wipes out everything that came before it. Switzerland gave you none of that. Rankel, Tanadzi, Karina Celia Stettler, and Mara Schwitter ran with the kind of coordination that only comes from genuine preparation. The exchanges were timed. The baton moved fast. Schwitter on the anchor didn't have to chase anything down or manage a shrinking lead. She took a clean baton with space ahead of her and finished the job. Lane 2 is not a comfortable draw in a relay heat. You're running the inside lane with no visual reference on the curve, no one ahead of you to gauge your position against. Teams in the outer lanes can see the field and adjust. Lane 2 requires discipline and trust that your execution is right, even when you can't confirm it by looking around. Switzerland ran lane 2 like they'd been there before, which, at this level, they have. The more interesting story on the day was Ireland, and specifically what precious Akpe-Moses did when everything had already gone sideways. Ireland had a serious problem on the back straight, the kind of moment that usually ends a relay squad's afternoon right there. Whatever happened in lane 7 during the race, it was the kind of disruption that breaks a team's momentum and their confidence simultaneously. But Akpe-Moses came through and ran to a 45.27 anchor finish, good enough to share second place with Sweden's Olivia Pihl. Those two went to the photo, and Ireland got the verdict. That's the performance of the heat, full stop. Running 45.27 on the anchor after your team has had an incident earlier in the race, closing hard enough on Sweden that it needed a photo to separate them. That's the kind of leg that gets remembered inside a relay program. It takes a particular mental makeup to compartmentalize what's already gone wrong and run clean anyway. Akpe-Moses did exactly that. Sweden's Olivia Pihl at 45.27 ran a composed anchor leg and came within a photo of second place. The Swedish squad, Filippa Engström leading off in lane 4, Olivia Lundberg and Esther Salkvist through the middle legs, gave themselves a shot coming into the final exchange. Ultimately, Pihl couldn't quite hold off Akpe-Moses in the run-in, but 45.27 is a legitimate anchor split. Sweden qualifies and goes to the final with a squad that showed they can be competitive. Belgium finished 4th at 45.50, and Lauren Petrocchi-Konings ran the anchor, having already competed in the 200-meter final. That is a compressed schedule by any standard. Competing in a sprint final and then turning around for a relay heat the same day asks something significant of an athlete's legs and their recovery. A 45.50 relay finish under those circumstances is not a failure. It's a realistic result given the workload. Laura Fosters, Camille Sonneville, and Martha Gerardin set her up with a workable position, and Belgium will take the 4th place qualification and move on. Finland didn't finish, and that's the hardest outcome in relay running. One of their athletes went down on the back straight in front of a home crowd that had been loud for them from the introductions. Jenny Voninen was listed as their anchor, and a 47.31 personal best suggests Finland was always going to need a clean race to advance. They didn't get that chance. There's no useful analysis to do on a DNF caused by injury. You simply note it and feel the weight of it. Croatia, in lane 3 with Dunja Rubčić, Eva Barbaric, Tina Police, and Vita Penezic, didn't feature in the results with a finish time, which suggests they either didn't advance or finished outside the qualifying positions. The data doesn't give us enough to say more than that. At the championship level, a 44.63 in a relay heat puts Switzerland in the conversation for the final, but doesn't make them the story of the competition yet. The teams that come through heats 2 and 3 will shape what the final looks like. If another squad runs a 44 low or better, the dynamic shifts. If Switzerland's 44.63 holds up as the fastest heat time, they go into the final with confidence and lane preference working in their favor. Either way, the Swiss have shown they belong here. 4 runners, 4 clean legs, a wire-to-wire win. That's the baseline you need to be a relay final threat. What this result signals for Switzerland is that their program has the depth to compete in the relay, even without a historically dominant individual sprinter. The 44.63 came from 4 athletes executing together, not from one name dragging the others around the track. That's a more durable foundation for a relay program than relying on a single standout, because when the handoffs are right and the squad is prepared, you're competitive, regardless of who else shows up. Akpe-Moses goes to the final, knowing she ran the fastest she could when Ireland needed it most. That's the image from Heat 1 that carries the most weight.